Today we're learning how to solve multi-step consumer application problems. Please copy down the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will solve multi-step consumer application problems and present conclusions. So consumer application problems are just real-life problems where we're applying the math we've learned to situations that might pop up in real life. So for the first one, lesson 3, we're going to start with the estimation practice. So solve each problem shown below. Be sure to show all steps. 1. Rephrase the question in your own words. 2. List the important facts. 3. Solve it with explanations of what and why you did. And 4. Check it. If you need to, show your work on a separate sheet. Number 1. Rudy had $64 to spend. He spent $18 on a haircut, $22 on shoes, and $7 for a movie ticket. About how much does Rudy have left? Number 1. Rudy had $64 to spend. He spent $18 on a haircut, $22 in shoes, and $7 for a movie ticket. About how much does Rudy have left? So step 1 is to rephrase the question in our own words. We need to figure out how much money Rudy has left after he's run his errands. Step 2, we need to list the important facts. He has $64 to spend. $18 spent on a haircut, $22 on shoes, and $7 on a movie ticket. Now we know, because it's asking about, that we need to estimate here. So we're going to round off each of the things that he spent money on. So the haircut rounds to 20, the shoes round to 20, and then the movie you can either leave at 7 or you can round it to 10. We're going to go ahead and round it to 10 for here. Now we need to add it up, and we get $50, which will then subtract from the 64 to figure out how much money he has left. So 64 minus 50 is 14, so Rudy has about $14 left. Number 2, the Theater of Natural Science and History Museum was filled to capacity for its 276 shows this fall. The theater holds 35 people. About how many people attended the shows? So first, we need to rephrase the question in our own words. We need to find out how many people came to the theater that fall. Step 2 is to figure out the important information. We know we have 276 shows, and each one holds 35 people. So now we have 276 shows. The number of people is 35. Because we're estimating, we know because it says about, we need to round these off to numbers we can work with. So we're going to round 276 to 300 and 35 to 40. Then we multiply 300 by 40 to get 1,200. And that tells us about 1,200 people attended the shows. The Forest Service estimates that 3,645 people visited the Cradle of Forestry in the past 31 days. About how many people visited the attraction each day? So the first thing we need to do is rephrase the question in our own words. We need to figure out how many people were there in the Cradle of Forestry each day. So the important information is 3,645 people and 31 days. Now, since we're estimating, we need to round both numbers off. For people, we get 3,600, and days, we get 30. Now, we need to divide 3,600 by 30 to figure out how many people visited each day. So 3,600 divided by 30 gets us 120. So 120 people visited the attraction each day. For this page, we're finding the exact answer. Number 1, Henry bought 3.5 pounds of onions and 5.25 pounds of tomatoes. Tomatoes are 99 cents per pound and the onions are 59 cents per pound. How much will Henry spend at the grocery store? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take the 3.5 and the 5.25 and change those mixed numbers into decimals to make it easier to multiply. So we're going to take the 3.5 pounds of onions and multiply them by 59 cents. So we're going to put 0.59 for those. Now we need to figure out where to put our decimal in. We have 3 decimal places in our factor. We need 3 in our answer, so it's going to go right after the 2. Next, we're going to do the 5.25 pounds of tomatoes times 99 cents. Now we need to figure out where to put our decimal. We have 4 decimal places in our factors. We need 4 in our answer. Now we're going to add up the 2 amounts. Make sure you line up the decimal as we do this. Now, because we're working with money, we need to round off to the nearest hundredth because that's the nearest cent. So Henry spent $7.26 at the grocery store. Number 2, 17 tourists purchased 2 posters each. The total cost for all the posters is $168.30. How much should each poster cost? Well, the first thing we need to do is we have 17 tourists purchasing 2 posters each. So we're going to do 17 times 2 to get 34 posters. Next, we know the total cost for all 34 posters was $168.34. So we're going to divide that by 34. So 34 is going to go into 168 4 times. Then it's going to go into 34. It's going to go into 323 9 times. Then it's going to go into 175 times. Then we need to make sure we place our decimal in the right place. We're going to bring the decimal directly up in between the 4 and the 9. So each poster costs $4.95. Please make sure you have all of the work copied down and glue both pages in your math notebook.